Hey, thanks for checking in with Callie. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, here we are in another situation, or should I say, a reoccurring situation, where the Warriors are throwing another pitch at the Clippers. And they're throwing another pitch at the Clippers in regards to Kawhi Leonard. This offseason, we talked about this on a previous video about a few weeks ago. You can go back and check it out, about how the Warriors possibly have an eye on Kawhi Leonard. Now the talks have went a little bit further from what I'm hearing, have went to the next step. And, you never know what can happen. I don't want to sit there and say that the Clippers are not willing to deal Kawhi Leonard, especially if Kawhi Leonard is cool with it. Kawhi is the type of guy where the media won't never know it, coming from him, coming out of his mouth. But, you might hear things coming out of his camp, but you'll never hear nothing coming from him specifically. But I wouldn't rule out the fact that he's not interested into the Warriors, because when you think about the situation, we all know Paul George is gone. We all know this season right here has to be the season that they go to a finals or win it, regardless of who's on their roster, because it's been 6-7 seasons they've been together and no results in championships. And, Kawhi is the type of player where, he's the type of guy you can win with if he's healthy enough to be out there to play in big moments in the playoffs, because we know that's where he shows up the most, in the playoffs, when he's right. And he'll show up during the regular season too, of course, but just the minimal games that he plays, 55 to 65 games that he plays most seasons, he's going to show up and give you his best there, but he always turns it up another notch in the playoffs. So this situation here is very fruitful for the Clippers. And I think that's the reason why the talks are still there, from what my sources are saying. And then, reading other sources as well, reading other articles and stuff like that. And then some people I know have been speaking about it also. But in the talks between the Clippers and the Warriors, the reason why these talks possibly are still going on, because the Warriors have offered a little bit more. This time, it's more picks involved. It's a 2028 pick. It's a 2030 pick, unprotected. And they actually have some pieces they want to add to it. Kevon Looney, of course. Then you have GP2, Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, and then you have Andrew Wiggins. And that's the Clippers will get all that back for Kawhi Leonard, which, when you think about it, based upon Kawhi's injury history, based upon how things have went with this team in the last 5 years or so, and nothing's came of it, or been, haven't got to a finals or won a championship, the Clippers definitely show interest. And that's what I'm hearing. The Clippers are definitely keeping their ears open for it. Now, the tricky thing about this is, this might not, of course, can happen before the season starts, which there's a very slight possibility that it could. But, this is more likely not going to happen before the season starts, because, you got the preseason coming up around October 5th, October 6th, which is next month, which is about 3 weeks from now. And everybody's just trying to, get acclimated back to playing basketball, things like that, getting their body right, stuff like that, conditioning. So, more likely, if this trade was to happen, it probably would happen at the earliest at the All-Star break, or trade deadline, around that time going to the season, if it was going to happen, which would be crazy. That would probably be the earliest that it could happen. Now, of course, next offseason, if the Clippers don't win a championship or something like that, then, of course, it can definitely, happen then. But the earliest I believe it's only going to happen is, at, the trade deadline, which that'd be like one of the biggest trade deadline trades or acquisitions ever in history, of a superstar player like that, right before the half mark of the season, going into the latter part of the season. And now you're trying to make a run for the, playoffs and stuff like that. That would be crazy if it did go down that way. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised, because when you think about everything that's set in front of the Clippers now, and what the Warriors are offering, what the Warriors are offering is not going to change between now and then, because what they're offering now compared to last time, I believe last time they were just offering, Kevon Looney, Andrew Wiggins, and I think Kuminga might have been involved in the trade, and it was maybe one pick. You know what I'm saying? So now with the situation the way it is, now it's multiple picks with multiple players, and the 2028 pick, the 2029 and the 2030 pick, the Clippers would have something to look forward to future wise, because and all those picks are first round picks at that. So I mean, when you think about the first round pick opportunity of having a future players coming to your franchise that can possibly, make life different, with them having a new arena built and everything like that. I mean, it kind of makes sense for the Clippers. And, thinking about how Lawrence Frank is, the dumb decisions that he makes, I really wouldn't be surprised if they traded away their best player, just because Lawrence Frank is just that dumb of a president, just that dumb of a CEO of any team that allow him to do the job. I just never really liked the way I never liked him as a coach. I never liked him as a GM or anything like that of the team, because any team that he's a part of, they just don't win championships. Not that I've ever seen, because it's like him playing as a recruiter in the front office. He just doesn't put the right pieces there, I think, for teams to get over the hump. And I think we're seeing that right now, with the Clippers. In his past years, he hasn't been that great as a CEO or, front office person in regards to making decisions of who they get, who they draft, or what teams do in regards to the recruitment process. He wasn't good on other teams as well. So, I mean, this situation with the Clippers is just, this is a typical situation for him, So, I mean, if he makes a bad decision with the Kawhi Leonard deal, if they decide to deal Kawhi Leonard to a team like the Warriors, I wouldn't be surprised. Me personally, I wouldn't even think about trading Kawhi Leonard. I wouldn't even listen to another team. It wouldn't even be a part of, what we're trying to do. If we're, what I'm saying, if I'm the CEO of a team, or, in working in the front office, because you got to at least give it one more season to see exactly what can happen, because this might be the season Kawhi stays healthy. It might be the season that he doesn't stay healthy once again, but you have to give it that chance, because he's a top player in the league. He's a top 5, top 3 player in the league when healthy, when right. And we saw it last year. The 68 games he played last year, he actually fell into the MVP conversation. He was actually looked at as the best player in the league for 2-3 months of the season. I mean, you even had players like Kevin Durant saying that Kawhi looked like the best player right now, and the Clippers look like the best team going into the All-Star break. So, I mean, it shows you how great of a player Kawhi is, and it shows that you always have a chance with a player like him as long as he's on the floor and gives you an opportunity to win. So, I mean, this is a crazy situation for the Clippers. I mean, they could look at it from two ways. They could look at okay, Kawhi might leave us anyway next year if we don't win the championship, which looks a little bit far out because we have less star power. We have less offensive power. So maybe we should trade Kawhi now, get some future picks. We got some good future. We got all number 1 picks. Each of the next 3 seasons after this upcoming season, and we got some youth in Andrew Wiggins. We got some good defensive players. With Gary Payton II, and we're just trying to rebuild to the next and take it to the next level with our younger players. Or you could just run it back with Kawhi Leonard and see if you win a championship and see if he stays healthy enough to put your team in the best position to win. So, I mean, the Clippers really have the only two options, really to go at in this situation. I want to know myself which one they're really actually going to take, because the Clippers, without no picks right now, without no leverage in any negotiations, that is what they're looking at too long term. Because when the Clippers if they try to acquire somebody like Zach LaVine or Nikola Vucevic or somebody like that, they don't have no leverage because they don't have no picks. All their picks they traded away and got rid of all their assets for Paul George, who actually dipped on them, and they put so much into him because Kawhi requested Paul George to be on the Clippers years ago. So, I mean, with all their assets and stuff gone, they have no leverage in trading proposals and bargaining and things like that. So what the Warriors are offering them, they might be looking at that as, a cash cow to a degree, because we can land a number 1 pick that can, brighten our future. And we have good pieces around him with what they have now and with the pieces they would be getting or adding from the Warriors if they actually do the trade with the Warriors. So I mean, it's not a situation where it's dead talk. It's a situation where the talks are really alive and they're actually going to the next level. And like I said, from what I'm hearing, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either way whether Kawhi stays or goes. You know what I'm saying, to another team and or trade to the Warriors. However it goes, but. I definitely want to see how it pans out because this resurfacing and, the way the Clippers are now and all the onus being on Kawhi even more than it ever was since he's been on this team, because now he doesn't have his running mate, Paul George, which I think he'll be fine without Paul George. It changes the trajectory of the situation. So I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see how it all pans out. And I do believe personally, there's a great 80% chance that Kawhi is on the Clippers going to this season and finishing out this season with the Clippers. 20% chance that he gets traded is my opinion. But leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we go from there.